And our customs and that the elders speak first thereof. So if you don't mind, I don't mean to mess up the program, but we live in a time when our elderly are not being honored as they should. It's not our men to say elderly. I think there's some customs and traditions that we're sorely missing. And as young people, not all of us, but we have become quite boisterous and we can be a little disrespectful. And not as grateful as we should be for those who laid the foundation and paved the way. And title doesn't supersede experience and wisdom and sacrifice. So we don't mind. I don't have much to say. And come back. However you want to do it. We have Sister Amina, and
thank you, Minister Hawk. I'm going to defer to Sister Amina Bay. Thank you very much, Minister Hawk, for those heartfelt words. However, I'm going to defer to Sister Bay, and then I'll go after Sister Bay.
So the first thing I want to do is, thank Minister Hawk for mentioning my mother, Sister Frederica Bay. Yes, please keep her in prayer. She was just released from the hospital, so I'm sitting in the hospital. Easy to use since I look just like her. I stole my face a long time ago, so I can sit here and pose as mommy. But also need to thank Chairman Larry Ham, because if it wasn't for him, there would be no way to support the Million Man March. Actually, people credit my mother for creating Women in Support of the Million Man March. Larry Ham called Frederica Bay and said, we need a sisters contingent. We need the sisters to help us get these brothers on a bus and get to DC. Sister Frederica, I need you to go ahead and do this. And of course, she's like, all right, baby, come on, let's go. Wait, what? I'm in my 20s, I'm living at home, I'm working in a nursing home. And so then she called Bester, she called Charlotte, she called all of the sisters. And it was just, a really serious time. And the call came, we need to have community meetings. And as much as everyone revels in the Million Man March right now, that was not the case in the beginning. It was a hard call. And St. James AME was the first and only church that opened the doors. And Reverend Watley, thank God for Reverend Watley. Reverend Watley was like, come on in, Sister Bay. Come on in, sisters. Paul Bester was like, we need your church. Because we were calling around, because everybody was shying away from it. Because again, they saw the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan as this polarizing figure, and nobody wanted to get anybody upset. They supported it in secret in the beginning. I think it's a good idea. I don't know. And we gonna go out there, we gonna tell the truth here tonight. We gonna tell the truth. Because everybody that came to the 10th anniversary and the 15th anniversary wasn't there the first one. They was scared. We gonna tell the truth. So I want to give honor to the courageous ones that were there in 1995. I'm glad the ones that came on board afterwards. And people sacrificed a lot. People were literally threatening us. People think it's a joke. It's not. People, that's in my life. People were threatening us. Sister Toy, they were threatening us. We were collecting pennies in the park. We were doing fish fries. We were selling t-shirts. My mother turned her house into a t-shirt shop to make money to pay for buses. And we were getting, this is long before social media. There was no social media. None. Okay, all of this was done face to face, hand to hand, on the phone, email, in person, and people were calling us, threatening us. Okay, saying that we were preaching hate. Now we're talking about atonement and reconciliation. How is that hate? We're talking about bringing our families together. How is that hate? Because we want to love on one another. How is that hate? And so the thing is that it took a minute for folks to come together in the Muslim and the Christian community. Because we caught it too. Muslim caught it too. Because we caught it from a whole lot of people. A lot of the imams that's winning today wasn't winning in 1995. A lot of the revolutionaries that's winning today wasn't here in 1995. So we don't call it out. You know, the history bared it out. What a wonderful movement that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan started. And there was not 1 ounce of hatred. There was nothing but love. Now, I wasn't there. My mother jumped on the bus at the last minute. We went to, she jumped on the bus. Larry Hill let her jump on the bus. My poppy was upset. He was like, Freddie's just supposed to be the man. Why are you jumping on the bus? And it was like, she's our spiritual nurse. So she went so everybody should jump on the bus and went down there with 2 million men and they were in heaven. And it was just having that experience of seeing the community come together, and it was an awakening. Because again, everybody wasn't with it, but as the time went on, because I remember when the minister made the call at Jacob Javits Center in 1994, everybody thought he was crazy.
That's right.
They looked at him like he was crazy and looked at us like, y'all believe this? 1 million men, you get no million men who's paying for this. And it just slowly spread across the country. And people came from everywhere. And when we started working together, raising money, and I mean, Larry Hill was the statewide chairman, and the chairperson, he got the whole state of New Jersey together with no social media, in person, 50,000 men from the state of New Jersey. And it was such a powerful thing for us that when Mommy had an awakening, she came back to the Million Man March, was like, we gotta stick together. We gotta start an organization. And we came together, 23 women, and incorporated Women in Support of the Million Man March. So it's our anniversary too. It's our anniversary too. And from Larry Ham's idea and his initiative, we pulled together one of the largest, most powerful organization of women that Newark, New Jersey, the state of New Jersey has ever seen. Over $10 million in property in the city of Newark. That's right, over $10 million in property in the city of Newark. Community charter school, daycare center, community activism, and I don't care what anybody tries to do, you can't take that away from us. Children that we have educated because of the spark, the Million Man March, and came back and did this work. And the children that we educated because of the idea that Minister Farrakhan had, they are excelling in our community today. They are community leaders 30 years later. Okay, they are running organizations, you know, they are running businesses, all because he said, I want my family to come together. Okay, and so that we need to get that back, that spirit, that motivation, that inspiration, because they're trying to kill us, brothers and sisters. They are coming for us. They are trying to kill us, and they're not killing us slowly. They're trying to cut us off quick. Okay, they're not trying to poison us slowly. They're trying to shoot us in the heart at close range. And if we don't come together and act like we know better, I'm telling you, there will be no Million Man March that can save us. And we don't. We know what to do. We know the tenets of the Million Man March. We know the pledge. We took it. All of us, even those of us that was home watching it on CNN because BBT, Black Entertainment Television, wouldn't show it. They would show rotating videos and we had to watch it on We can't be scared. Scared people get you killed. Okay? So it's, yes, we gotta come out and vote, but we gotta do more, but we gotta organize. We gotta be organized. Do you imagine the organization that it took to put together the Million Man March? Do you know the organization it took to get 2 million men of color and a sprinkle of women in one place, and not one incident of violence, not one argument? They were passing buckets of money. Nobody took a dime. And a dollar fell out. They picked it up and put it back in the bucket. That was the same place to be on earth that day. And so we need to get back to that. We have to, or we will perish. That's all I can say. All right.
I should have went first. Long live the spirit of the Million Man March. Long live the spirit of the Million Man March. Long live the spirit of the Million Man March. Brothers and sisters, thank you very much for coming out tonight. This is a great turnout we have tonight. This is a great, I didn't think this many people were going to show up. I'd make more leaflets. I made a handful of leaflets. I have to make more leaflets. I'm so glad to see all of you tonight. And before I say anything else, let us thank St. James AME Church and its pastor, Reverend Ronald Slaughter, for opening the church up tonight so that we can come together to commemorate the spirit of the Million Man March on its 30th anniversary. It is fitting that we should be here in this church, because those of you who were with us in 1995 know that the first meeting that we had after our return from Washington was here at St. James AME Church. 1,500 men came out that night. There was nowhere to stand in the church, much less sit in the church. And it was that night at St. James AME Church that we passed the statewide agenda for the Million Man March Coalition. That happened right here at St. James AME Church a week after we returned from Washington, D.C. Let me say this. We need to give credit where credit is due. I heard my name mentioned, but my name should not be mentioned without it accompanying the name of Minister Kadir Abdul Muhammad, who was the co-chair. He was the state co-chair of the Million Man March. Minister Abdul Kadir Muhammad. And my only regret tonight is that he could not be here with us. But I know that he is somewhere commemorating the 30th anniversary of the Million Man March. Sister Mina Bay spoke so well tonight. Didn't Councilwoman Bay speak very well today? I did not initiate the organizational, I did not initiate the effort here in New Jersey. So for the public record, and I think there are a few reporters in the audience tonight, I was approached to be involved in the Million Man March by Minister Abdul Qadir Muhammad. Minister Qadir, as we used to call him. Minister Qadir called me. And why did he call me? Did he call me because I was Larry Ham? No, he called me because Larry Ham was part of the People's Organization for Progress that had already been in existence fighting for justice 20 years before the Million Man March. That's why he called me. He didn't call me because there was something special about me. He called me because I was part of an organization that had been working in the community for at least almost 2 decades from the time that we formed. And also because I had relationships with other people that were going to be involved in this organizational effort. I didn't meet Frederica Bay during the Million Man March. I met Frederica Bay at least 12 years earlier when she joined the People's Organization for Progress. I knew Vesta Goodwin, Vesta Goodwin, before there was a People's Organization for Progress, didn't I, Vesta? See, we all family in here, and what needs to happen to Black people in the 21st century, we need to start acting like a family again and protecting our family interests and working with each other like we're part of the same family and not like we're in enemy camps. Minister Qadir called me and said, Brother Larry, would you please work with me to mobilize men for the Million Man March? This was in 1994, not in 95. We didn't start organizing for the Million Man March like in February of 1995, for October of 1995. This was probably in the summer of 1994 when Minister Qadir called me. And I said, yes, Minister, I'll work with you. And I want to say this. In all of my organizing experiences, in all the projects that I've been involved in, maybe I haven't been involved in as many as some of you, but I've been involved in a few. I have never received such gratification that I received in the work of the Million Man March. And never have I worked with a person so easy to work with. You know, we were under a lot of pressure during the Million Man March. Minister Qadir Muhammad and I, in the whole time we were on the Million Man March, going and coming, we never had one argument. Wow. We never had one argument. We never had one disagreement. And I believe to this day, the Million Man March was successful because for a minute, in the course of history, for a minute, Black people were able to put aside their sectarian and sectional differences and come together around a common cause. So we called the meeting. Where was the meeting at? Any of you remember Reuben's Restaurant on Court Street? The first meeting, Reverend Slaughter, where we came together to form the New Jersey Million Man March Coalition was at a Black-owned establishment, Reuben's Restaurant, that was in the Nevada Mall on Court Street. And the meeting was on a Sunday. The restaurant wasn't open. I called Reuben, I said, Reuben, we need to have a meeting. He said, Larry, come on in, because Pop had been having fundraisers there. And so we came together, and it was on that Sunday that we decided to form the Million Man March Coalition. And simultaneously, not as an afterthought, but simultaneously the same day, the same hour we formed New Jersey Million Man March Coalition, we called for the formation of the Women in Support of the Million Man March. Because we knew what movement of black people in this country has succeeded without the involvement and leadership of black women? We knew that. This was no mystery. All you had to do was be in the movement for a little while. You know, guys like me, we just frontmen. It's the women doing all the work to make things happen. We know that. We knew we couldn't mobilize 1 million men to Washington. Now, I don't know what was going on at the national level. I do know that question was being discussed, but I wasn't in those discussions. I was following my instinct as an organizer. And I hadn't been in a church, I hadn't been in a religious institution, I hadn't been in an educational institution, I hadn't been in a grassroots organization where the majority of participants weren't women. Women always in the majority. They're always there. They always respond. And so, you know, when we formed Women in Support, the first person I turned to was Sister Frederica Banks. And I think she did a wonderful job with Women in Support of the meeting in the home. Stand up for your mother. She did a wonderful job with Women in Support of the meeting. So, to make a long story short, Minister Farrakhan, and see, we also got to give credit where credit is due. I don't think there was any other leader at that time, Minister Howard. I don't think there was any other black leader as great as they all were. Because I'm not trying to disparage anyone or take anything away from anybody. But I think the only leader with enough credibility at that time to make the call and have over 1 million men respond was Minister Louis Farrakhan. Was Minister Louis Farrakhan. Now I know, I'm just telling it like I see it. Maybe you see it differently, but I don't think anybody could have. Could other people have got a big crowd? They could have got a big crowd. But I don't think, because a lot of our leaders will have issues. They'll have issues. And Minister Farrakhan made the call. And he was going around the country, filling up stadiums. 40,000, 50,000, 60,000. Packed Javits. I was at the Javits Center for that meeting, and people were responding to the Million Man March. And so what did we do? We went around New Jersey. We went from city to city to city. And it was amazing. To this day, I have not experienced anything like that. We called a meeting at the school, the auditorium was packed. We called a meeting at the church was packed. We called a meeting at the gymnasium was packed. I just knew from the response that we were getting from people that we were on the way to mobilizing tens of thousands of men from New Jersey for the Million Man March. I knew it. I knew it based on how people were responding. We formed the New Jersey Million Man March Coalition under the banner of the New Jersey Million Man March Coalition. We had a bus roster of more than 250 buses. 250 buses. Like if there was a document, like I could show it to you if I had it. 250 buses. But those were the buses under our banner. But there are a lot of other people that organized buses that weren't under the banner of the New Jersey Million Man March Coalition. So we had thousands going on 250 buses. We had maybe hundreds of other buses independently. We had people going on trains, people going on planes. And in the final analysis, according to the Wall Street Journal, 75,000 men came out of New Jersey for the Million Man March to Washington, D.C. past week. Now, this meeting today, this commemoration, how did this happen? Again, I didn't initiate it. Like, I got enough on my plate. I'm not looking for more work. Reverend Mark Thompson. Any of y'all know Reverend Mark Thompson from Make It Plain? He called me. He said, Brother Larry, we're having a national effort to commemorate the Million Man March, and we need something to happen in New Jersey. And Brother Ed called me. He had already been in contact with those. He might have been in contact with them before I was. And I said, Ed, I'm on board. I ain't got a whole lot of energy, but I'm on board. And I want to tell you tonight, as we sit here commemorating the 30th anniversary, our brothers and sisters are in 20 cities across the United States having Million Man March Coalition. I thank Reverend Mark Thompson. And Brother Ed and I have been on weekly meetings to make this happen. Weekly. Y'all think it only means I'm in the pop meetings. The other meetings. We're on weekly meetings, and Ed and I, we're in. I said, it got to the point where we, Ed, we got a vision. Hey, let's reach out to people. Ed said, all right. He reached out to Sister May. He reached out to Minister Hawk. He reached out to other people. And we're here with you tonight. And I'm so glad we're here, brothers and sisters. You know why I'm glad we're here? Because there are wicked forces in this country. Wicked forces that would like to erase the memory of the Million Man March. But we're not going to let them erase the memory of the Million Man March. We're not going to let it happen. We can't depend on the people who oppress us to uphold those things that are good for us. They're not going to do it. They're going to find something wrong with it. No, we're going to uphold the memory of the Million Man March because it meant so much to us. I remember when we loaded up at Lincoln Park. That was our staging ground. All the buses, all up and down Broad Street, all around Lincoln Park, and the excitement. It was like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, but the people was excited like it was noontime. People was ready to go. And the Sister May said nobody was out there, wasn't no fussing and cussing going on. There might have been a few people that was going to bum rush the bus. They wanted to be on the bus. They called me up, like, tell them let me on the bus. But it was something to see. And I remember we getting to Washington, they told us it might be difficult for us to get to Washington, D.C. Y'all saw maybe 2 million men above ground, but do you know that there were thousands of soldiers underground? There were thousands of soldiers in tunnels, under the Capitol building, under the mall, under the Lincoln Monument. Coincidentally or serendipitously, Bill Clinton had left town. Like they were expecting something to happen. They were expecting trouble. And they were prepared to put troops on us if there was trouble. But we didn't give them no trouble for them to build the troops out and put the troops on us. I remember standing by the Capitol building and looking back, and all the way back to the horizon, you could not see the end of the men and women who had gathered on the wall. You couldn't see it. And we had these giant, what they call them, jumbotron. Because they were so far back that they really couldn't see people speaking from the Capitol building. So there were these giant jumbotrons. So people could see who was speaking as far past. Because we were at the Capitol, and at the opposite end was the Washington Monument. They were past the Washington Monument. not what I read, and not what somebody told me. There were rivers of tears. Some people were crying tears of joy. They was just happy. They had never seen our people come together like this. I remember how I felt when I was a delegate. I was the youngest delegate to the National Black Political Convention at Gary, Indiana in 1972. I had never seen black people come together like that. And I didn't think I would ever see it again after Gary. But I saw it at the Million Man March. And there were tears of joy. But there were also tears of atonement. There were tears of men who made a pledge and commitment to themselves that they was going to come home and do better. They were going to come home and do better. And we have to remember the multi-dimensional aspect of the Million Man March. Your experience might not have been everybody else's experience. My experience as an organizer might be different from your experience. So I can't say that everybody had tears of joy. I know that some people were crying because they were having a catharsis, a release of pain that they had felt. And they felt a conviction to in fact make themselves better, make their lives better. And it was something that I would never forget. When we came home, I tell you one thing I do regret, or maybe I shouldn't say this because I don't want to cast a pall over this magnificent gathering here tonight. My one regret, and I know how it happened because Minister Farrakhan was being humble and generous and gracious. There was a whole lot of people who spoke at the Million Man March. And I don't necessarily know that I felt good about all of them.
It's true.
This is not being simulcast, is it? I just felt like there was some people up there that should have been up there. But the thing that I was trying to say was, our buses were on contract. And legally, bus drivers are not supposed to be on the ground more than 18 hours. So we had to, our buses left very early, 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning. So we had to leave DC according to our contract at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And my regret was that Minister Farrakhan let all these other people speak before him. So by the time he spoke, I was sitting with other brothers on the bus that we heard Minister Farrakhan in the bus, as did thousands of other people. And I just felt, I wish it could have been different. I wish we all could have been there to hear the one that convened. But when history writes that story, we know that credit is going to be given to where credit is due. Because we're going to keep the memory of the Million Man March alive. And I'm going to sit down. After we came back, we came here, we had our convention here at St. James. We adopted the agenda. What was one of the things we said we were going to do? We said we were going to have a Million Man March on Trenton the following year. About 6 months after the Million Man March, in October of 1905, we marched in Trenton in the spring of 1996 and had the largest demonstration ever in Trenton in 1996. So many thousands of men came out to march in Trenton. People talk about, well, the Million Man March didn't have impact. I don't know what Million Man March you're talking about.
I'm telling you.
It didn't have an impact. If it didn't have an impact, we wouldn't be here 30 years later talking about it. Let me tell you something. After the Million Man March, the adoption of black children rose astronomically. After the Million Man March, there was an immediate decline in crime in our cities across the country. This is measured and proven.
That's correct.
After the Million Man March, there was a dramatic increase in the number of black voters, both relatively and absolutely, after the Million Man March.
Right.
After the Million Man March, men went home and got involved in all kinds of activities for the uplift of our community. So don't tell me the Million Man March didn't have an impact. It had a positive and powerful impact on black people all across the United States of America. Now, and with this, the Million Man March was the Million Man March. What do I mean by that? The Million Man March wasn't our revolution because it wasn't meant to be our revolution. The Million Man March was not our magic wand to solve all of our problems. It wasn't meant to be that, and it could not have been that. To me, the Million Man March was a sign to us. And Pastor, you can help me and tell me if I'm wrong. When wickedness abounded on earth, God sent a flood to destroy evil mankind. But he saved Noah and his family. And as a sign to Noah, as a covenant with Noah, he put a rainbow in the sky. That this would be a covenant between Noah and God, that God would not destroy men again. It was a sign. The rainbow didn't solve all people's problems, but it was a sign of the promise. When Harriet Tubman took our people out of slavery, what did she look for? She looked for a North Star that would always take us in the direction that we needed to go. The Million Man March is a sign of the great things that we can do when we unify as a people. It is a sign that will forever give us direction and inspire us to do what we need to do to liberate our people. Long live the spirit of the Million Man March.
Thank you again.
Okay, we're waiting for our keynote speaker. He's on the way, Mayor Baraka. But while we're waiting for Mayor Baraka, we're gonna open the floor up, as Brother Ed said, and we're gonna give those of you who feel moved to do so, to give your reflections on the Million Man March, what you experienced that day. We ask you to try to do it in a minute. If you keep it short, we can get a lot of people in. If you try to barnstorm 20 minutes, we only gonna get 2 or 3 people in.
No monologues.
Right, so, but we do want to give you a chance to give your reflection. So the floor is open to those who want to. Yes.
Just before we do that, I just want to ask the women in support of the Million Man March to please stand.
Yes.
Please, women in support of the Million Man March,
Yes, and also all the men that went to the Million Man March who are in this room tonight, stand. The men who went. They're looking at it. They're looking big at it. All the men that went to the Million Man March. Yes, yes, yes. All right, who's first? Yes, is that Sister Ruby? Sister Ruby, the mayor is here. So can you hold your remarks till the mayor speaks? Our keynote speaker is here, Mayor Baraka. Give him a big hand. Come straight up. Come straight up. Come on down to the podium, the mayor-elect, Jay Baraka. Governor Baraka. Governor Baraka. I'm right here. It's not important to see, brother. Everything's possible.
Thank you. I want to thank the Reverend Slaughter, the shepherd of this house, for giving us the opportunity to be here today for sure. Thank you, sir. We appreciate you over and over again. I think this is incredible that we are commemorating and thinking at least mentally and spiritually, emotionally about what the Million Man March meant for our community for a long time. And it's important to do that, particularly in the time that we're in now. People keep saying that we've never seen this before. That's just not true. We've seen this before over and over and over and over again. The reason that people keep saying we've never seen this before is because they don't understand our history. They don't know history, the history of this country. We've seen this multiple times. In fact, that the barbarism and the pathology of white supremacy has been in this country since its inception.
That's right. That's right.
That's what it is, pathology, the sickness. And it is, fed on our communities for a very long time. The things that we're going through now are horrible. To attack the Constitution, to ban, our books and readings and history, to make it illegal to be black. Black and illegal has been synonymous to these folks for a very long time. So when people say that, they've burnt books before. Trump is not the worst of the worst. He is the newest worst of our time. He is the worst of our modern time. But there's been worse than him in this time, in the history of this country. Because we don't know it and understand it, we keep saying, oh, it's never been this bad. And maybe it hasn't been so bad for other people, but it certainly has been this bad for us. Anybody that have to travel and lose millions of people, and my father would say a railroad of human bones at the bottom of the Atlantic, to have their children cut from their womb, their belly, right, to be hung and lynched, right? I told some folks today that all of our trips back then were always non-stop trips because we couldn't get off the train then because there was no stops for us. We had to carry a black bag or a shoebox and put food in it. And you knew it was good because it was grease at the bottom of the bag. Because we couldn't stop at Denny's on the way. We had to eat chicken and cornbread on the train.
That's right.
Or wait till we got where we were going to eat because somebody vicious was waiting for us on the other side. We know this. Ella Baker knows this is not the first time. Mary McLeod Bethune knows this is not the first time. Marcus Garvey knows this is not the first time, right? We can go on and on. And a lot of people, Nat Turner and Harriet Tubman, know it's not the first time. Robert Smalls, who escaped from slavery, stole his master's boat and went to freedom and sold the boat and bought the master's house. No, this is not as bad as it could be. Our great-great-great-grandmothers who tied rice in their hair so they could eat on the journey to freedom knew this is not the worst time. Or put hush puppies in their back pocket to feed the dogs to get away from the back swamps of Mississippi. No, this is not the worst of time. Emmett Till's mother knows it's not the worst of time. When she opened up the casket to let the world see her baby being beat that way, right? Medgar Evers' wife knew this is not the worst time when she had to fight to get justice for her husband who was murdered on her lawn in her lap because he was trying to register to vote in this country. Right? Oh, we know this is not the worst of times. It's just the modern times, this day and time. And so it's important for us to remember that because with the Million Man March and with the women in support of the Million Man March, and so let's get that right. this community that organized themselves to get us to the march. And that also is not the first time that women in our community organized themselves to get us to a place where we needed to be. And it's just in the tradition of the things that have happened and always happen. We can always depend on Black women.
That's right.
When you got in trouble in your school, you depended on your mom. When you went to court, you depended on your mom. When you was in college, you depended on your mom. When your daddy put you out of your house, you depended on your mama to bring you back in. We've always depended on our mothers to do the right thing, to shepherd and comfort and protect us in this wilderness that we are in. So this is something that's in the tradition of our community, right? Which is interesting because these folks who are attacking diversity, equity, and inclusion, the people that are being targeted the most and are being victimized the most are Black women.
That's right.
Almost 400,000 Black women have lost their jobs in this fight to dismantle diversity, equity, and inclusion. And the irony of that, and I always tell people, the most educated demographic in this country are Black women.
That's right.
Which is interesting because they're saying that we are unqualified as they put white supremacists in the office, right? People who are Fox News show hosts, right? Individuals that were podcasters who are now in charge of the military who have no qualifications whatsoever. And they deify this man who says that our women don't have the brain power to be judges and expect us to stand on that. The reality is, if anybody deserves to be a judge in America, it's Black women. If anybody can judge this country, it's Black women. Anybody can judge what they've done to our families, is Black women. Anybody can judge the history of this country and how democratic it is or isn't, it's Black women. Well, they deserve to be the judges. And it's important for us to fight to make sure that these people don't chase us backwards. Because people are moving backwards. And I want to tell you that the Million Man March, brought more than 1 million Black men together. That's right. And one of my brothers tells a story of, how they passed those bags up front to raise $1 million. We saw it. And when they got to the number that they wanted, they said, okay, don't bring any more bags up. And they could have kept the bags coming up. They said, this is it. And I think at that moment, people understood what economic and political empowerment really looked like. That we had the ability to organize this thing and raise the dollars ourselves and finance it ourselves, so we didn't have to do what we normally do, get our support from one side of the community and our money from another. We had an opportunity to stand on our word or make our word our bond because we financed our own organization, our own unity, our own liberation. That's the problem with leaders in our community, because we get our money and our resources from one part of the community and our votes and support from another part of the community, because we haven't understood the importance of financing the actual liberation that you want, financing the future that you want to see, funding the liberation that you want to see. So we spend our money, and I want to tell you, all the things they say about us just not true. We don't just waste our money. In fact, Black people save their money more than most communities in America. That's something that you would not know. We save our money. The problem is we ain't got no money. So the little bit that we save, we gotta pay the rent and buy school clothes. God forbid we have a medical emergency, right? But we save more money. So this lie that we're wasting money is just what it is, a lie. And what we have to do is begin to funnel our money, use our money, be smart about where we spend it, where we put it, to make sure that we fund the very things that we need to see happen in our community, in our neighborhood. We can't just say we want something to happen, but don't have the ability to fund it economically. So you got people who work for all these people all over the county and all over the state who want to do the right thing but can't. Who want to support things but they can't because they don't feed themselves. They don't feed their own family. And if those people cut them off, they won't have anything. And so they always have to talk piecemeal, double talk, both sides of the mouth. They always have to be moderate and careful and tiptoeing because they're trying to conserve their family and conserve their job because they don't have the resources to be free. I saw that at the Million Man March, that ability to fund what it is we needed. And at the end of this gubernatorial race, I was at the Robert Tree Hotel. And the numbers were coming in. And, you know, we didn't win, but we did by God's grace. Nobody expected us to do this little kid to kidnapping. But my wife whispered to me, I'm proud of you because you're a free man. And I'm telling you, I forgot all about the race after that. Because, I'm serious. Because what it said is that you could say whatever you want this whole thing. You got on those debates or TV, whatever you said whatever you wanted to say. Whatever they asked you about, whether it was about Mr. Farrakhan or about anybody, I said what I wanted to say. And the reality is, the reason that I can talk this way is because, you know, we take care of our own stuff. We got our own organization, and we raise our own money, and we don't have to worry about other people calling us and saying, you can't say that. In fact, when they call and say, you can't say that, we actually say that. Because we say this is what we probably need to say, because they say that we can't say it. I can get on the phone, on the Zoom with people that called me on there just to say gotcha about specific ideas, and they get shocked because I double down on them. Because this is what we believe. And ultimately, we get to do this because we finance our own things. And that's what we have to be sophisticated enough to do in here. Not just, talk about the things. We have to support ourselves economically. We have to own the things in our community. We have to build the stuff that we need in our community. If you don't like what people are teaching, then build your own school. If you don't like the hospital that you got to take care of, then you build your own hospital, right? And if they're not taking care of you at the university, you build your own university. If they're not feeding you the way you need to be fed, you set up your own supermarkets, your own stores. That's what you're supposed to do, right? That's what economic liberation means. And I'm gonna sit down. Our father told me clearly there are two things: democracy and self-determination. That because we are here in this country, we have to fight for everything that everybody else did, vociferously. We can't walk away from it. We got to say, if you let them do that, we got to do it too. Because ain't nobody else deserve more in this country than we do. When they started rounding people up in Korea, we win. When they started rounding people up in Vietnam, we win. When they started rounding people up for the First World War, we win. In the Second World War, we win. In the Revolutionary War, we win. We went to all these places and shed blood and did all and came back and got segregated against and lynched still. If anybody deserves democracy, we do. So we ought to fight the same thing. If the school runs is free, we ought to have it. If there's public schools that they're giving out, we ought to be in them. If they got farm subsidies, we ought to get a hold of the farm subsidies. If they're giving out welfare, we need it twice. Amen. If they're giving out any kind of resources they have, we need to be in the line, the long line, 2 or 3 times, get everything they have, because everything they have, they owe it to us 2 or 3 times. That's what democracy is. You can't let these people get away with doing all these things, and we stand aside and say we don't want a part of it. Yeah, we want all of it. We want our fair share. We want it now. We want it twice and 3 and 4 times because we worked for 250 years for free. We were lynched and thrown out and put out of doors. Everything you got, you owe us. The clothes off your back, the shoes off your feet. We raised your children. We fed them. We feed them. We fed and feed our own children at the same time. Any democracy that exists, we ought to have a part of democracy. And we ain't gonna let you have no peace unless we have self-determination? What does self-determination mean? We got a right to define ourselves. We got a right to identify ourselves. We got the right to pray when we want to pray to. If we say God is black, he ought to be black in our name. We got the right to have our own schools. We have the right to have our own hospitals. We have the right to go to your schools, but if we don't want to go to, we have the right to build our own schools. That's what self-determination means. We got to look and think for ourselves, build for ourselves, name things ourselves, define ourselves, and teach our children about themselves. That's what self-determination means. That we have the right to be black and be black on purpose. To love our thick lips and our teethy hair and our wide nose. We got a right to pray the way we want to pray, eat the food we like, go to the stores we want to go to, dance to the music we like, make paintings and build sculptures the way we want them, and put them in the museums around here, and build the museums that we want to build. That's what self-determination is. Self-determination is African free school. Watoto Shule, Uzubu Shule, Sister Clara Muhammad. That's self-determination. Self-determination is me as a baby, not learning Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, but cold black and the Seven Seas. That's what self-determination is. And I don't care what you call me or how you talk about me. Self-determination means I get to see the world through my own eyes. I get to look at the world through my own eyes. And I get to analyze and evaluate the world from my own eyes. And I got to raise my babies through the eyes of the world that I see. And they can be beautiful on purpose. That's what self-determination is. And usually we get confused when we think we got to pick sides between democracy and self-determination. But I want it all. I want all of it. Why do I want it all? Because 196,940,000 square miles on a flat earth belongs to me. God bless y'all.
You are government of big game. The people's government. People's government. Sister Ruby, you're next. And anybody else after that, we have to be out by 8, but we have time. I just want to announce, while I have you all that is still here before everybody leaves, that we are going to be marching on Saturday. No Kings rallies, nearly 3,000 No Kings rallies are going to be taking place. No kings, no emperors, no dictators. And we're marching in Newark. We're going to meet on Saturday, October 18th, 1 o'clock at the Lincoln statue. And I hope everybody that is here will come out and join us Saturday, October 18th, Lincoln statue, 12 Springfield Avenue, Newark, New Jersey. I hope the pop members will give out the leaflets. I know a lot of people have left before we had a chance to get leaflets out, but please make sure everybody gets a leaflet. And I also want to say here publicly for the first time that we are calling for a Million People's March in October 2026 here in Newark, New Jersey. A Million People's March. In a year from now. And I hope St. James will play a leading role like it did in the Million Man March. Million People's March, man. October 2026. So, Sister Ruby, you were at the mic when the governor came in, so come on. And who's after Sister Ruby? If you want to make a statement, get right behind Ruby. That way you don't waste time coming to the mic. Everybody gets a minute, 1 minute.
Just want to give all honor to the minister, the great leader, Minister Louis Farrakhan, and all you black men.
Amen.
I understand that he gave an order, not an order, admonished you all to come back and do something. Well, the sisters heard it through the grapevine. And one of the greatest organizers, I'm of the silent generation. That means 80 and more. So I've been to a lot of organizations, been in a lot of organizations, but one of the greatest organizers that I have ever witnessed was Sister Frederica Bay. I was so sorry to hear that she's not here tonight. I come purposely for that. When I was part of Wisdom, back 30 years ago, Amina Bay was just a baby. But I see she's doing great things. I'm so proud of her. So you give honor to your mother for me, and our mayor, the mayor for all black people. We appreciate you, we respect you, and we will be waiting for the next time around for you to be our governor. Larry Hammond, you know I love you. Thank you for everybody, for all of you guys.
Yes, peace everyone. I'm so honored to be able to speak in front of you gentlemen. Honorable.
Speak in the mic.
Oh, yes, excuse me. Peace everyone. I feel honored to be able to speak in front of you people. I'm going to skip the topic just for a second.
No, stay on topic, man. You got 1 minute.
Can I?
Get to the point.
Give my time.
I'm gonna try to say this real fast. I belonged to POP over 35 years ago. Larry said that if you want to join something or you have a problem, then make your own. I just want to say that I started Sisters Network I was part of Wisdom, the beginning of Wisdom, and because we had our mansion, I was able to have my organization through that and help a lot of women. And I'm almost a 30-year breast cancer survivor. Also 6 degrees of separation. 5 of my grandkids went to the holistic center. They are doing great. My granddaughter called you up and told you she is now working with veterans. All of them, they have gone to college, and our daycare center was the best. Our charter school was the best. And you also met my daughter, so it is almost 5 generations. I won't say what my mother did. I will let Amina say. My mother went over my head. I didn't know nothing about it because she had her heart within. But my mother gave a $5,000 non-interest loan to women in support. Didn't even tell me. I didn't know nothing about it. My mother would be 100 this year, but she died 9 years ago. So what I'm saying, because of POP that I have been in for over 35 years, because of Wisdom, because my granddaughter was 90%, and it was Lacey who told me. I didn't know when she took the test and everything, because of the Holistic Daycare Center, and all of my sisters from Wisdom and my sisters from POP. I am just so happy to be a part of it. And the other 60 degrees, my daughter, who went to Howard University, is a good friend of the mayor's brother, which I didn't know. She's still down there in DC. So what I'm saying is, black women, we have done a lot, and now I'm almost to my 5th generation because my great granddaughter will also be doing whatever she can do. Thank you.
Real quick, I just want to give a big shout out, big strong shout out to Sister first of all, Frederica Bay, my sister Amina Bay, Sister Tahira, the women in support of the Big Man March, because 2 years after the Big Man March, my bae, my beloved, my wife, Natasha sitting right there with the green hat on, we got married at the Women in Support of the Big Man March 28 years ago. We still married. We raised 3 beautiful, strong brothers. All right? No baby mamas over here, no baby daddies, no disrespect any of that. But my wife, you know, I don't know, we were trying to get married someplace else, but the Creator wouldn't allow it. And then Sister Frederica and Sister Amina came and said, look, we're gonna open up the women. I'm getting emotional thinking about it. We're gonna open up the women women in support of Mayman March, to you all. And we've been family ever since. So thank you so much, Shaquan. Thank you so much, Sister Benita. And of course, we got our vote and our support, all right? No doubt, no doubt. That's all they gonna protect.
Brother Larry Ham and Sister Bay and Minister Abdul Haq, I love you. I love you. And Brother Minister Abdul Haq, you remind me of a young Minister Farrakhan. You know, I've lived long enough to say that you know, I love you. Yeah.
Take your time.
I just wanted to say that I'm moved by tonight. Because as Larry said, ain't nobody gonna tell me nothing in no book. Because I was there.
Yes, sir.
And only death would have stopped. I was there at the first meeting. I didn't have a car. I traveled by bus. And I went around the country, getting to every meeting. And we went there fired up, and we still had the spirit to move and transform our fractured neighborhoods into caring communities once again. So when Larry Ham calls, we respond. We will respond to Larry Ham every time he calls, no doubt about it. Because as I said on WBLS a few weeks ago, that he's a long distance runner. He's not a sprinter.
That's right.
He's in for the long haul. And we couldn't have picked a better person to organize the state. So that's all I want to say to all of you. Those of you that weren't born, it was a magnificent time. I wish we had more time. But when you look at that picture of the 2 million men and you see this big red banner, well, that's me and my crew. We had a banner calling for the release of all of our black political prisoners being held and still being held. So I just wanted to say, listen, I was over here crying while all y'all was talking. I just had to be here tonight. I love you. I'm going to say this here. Let us really get to work, because someone mentioned something the other day I read about developing a black agenda. I want to say this to each and every one of you here. And the law is our witness. We ain't got to keep on reinventing the wheel. We got things that have been laid out. Even coming out of the Million Man March, the 9 ministries, I'm telling you, I beg all of you, if you don't have the book, look at it. We can develop those things. Tell every organization, I'm going to go to a meeting and let them know. Why are you scratching in the dark? A blueprint has been laid out. Is it because of your prejudice? Because then they come out of your mind? Those 9 ministries must be developed.
Mr. Hart, did you want to say something? You sure? Okay.
First of all, I want to say thank you to Larry and the minister for the leadership and the Million Man March. You guys put together, verb I can't express what you guys did, the leadership. I was there in 1995. A lot of you don't know I'm a member of this church here. I've been a member of the church more than 30 years now. And there's a lot of things that went on, the Christians, the Muslim community, we always didn't see eye to eye. So when we talked about that event in '94, it was hard organizing because we didn't see eye to eye, Christian community and the Muslim community. And Reverend Watley didn't see eye to eye. So we lobbied, there were 3 of us. We lobbied Reverend Watley for at least 6 months to get on board, because we knew if he got on board, he would bring the other ministers that wasn't on board. So that's something people don't know. We brought like 3.5 buses. We didn't come down to pop, but we was in communication. Okay, we was on the phone, and we took 3 buses for St. James. What moved me to Million Man March, I never saw so many African American men emotionally crying.
That's right.
It was It's something I never ever experienced before. We took a commitment that day. As African American men, I think you spoke about, they talked about coming home as men doing a better job with our family. We took a commitment that day and allowed them to follow through with it. I'm the one to follow through. So I just want to say thank you for
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Just gonna be real brief. I want to thank you, Larry Ham. Thank you, Minister, for taking the mission of the minister and making sure it's alive here in the city of Newark. I was an 18-year-old freshman at Bloomfield College when I went to the Millionaire March. No longer 18 anymore. I just want to thank two people that was important to me at the time to make sure that we got down here, which was my mentor, Ms. Carter, Mr. Carter from Coast Youth Services. I will always keep their name because they're the ones who helped us get on the bus. And they made sure that we were able to get there. They told us to leave before you guys left because they said that if you left, it was going to be thousands of buses to get to Maryland to get into the train station to get into Washington, D.C. And I wanted to say one thing. First, I wanted to speak because this last time I spoke here in this sanctuary, I said I do to my wife at this sanctuary. So I just wanted to say that. The second thing I wanted to say is that I never ever felt what heaven felt like until that day to see so many Black men just committed to peace, to family, to love, and to unity. And that's something that when Raz shared, what most of you shared, is that if you ever wanted to model peace, the Millionaire March is that spirit. And so as we come home and as we do the work that we do, just model that spirit, model that life, and model that day, because that's something that we should live on forever. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
First, I want to give thanks to my pastor because I know he wants to get me because he has to see me in a minute. So let me get that out of the way. How you doing, Pastor? Secondly, I am so glad that you brought this to our attention because this actually gives me an opportunity to actually view all the people who I hold dearly. My pastor automatically, okay? Minister Hawk, you know how we feel about each other. Larry Ham, I don't want to even go into it with you because you actually told me how to actually stand up like this. But this sister right here, me and her had to fight the Klan in college. So we were built for this. Yeah. This sister right here, she not only should she be the councilwoman for Central Ward, she should be actually, you gotta give her a chance to lead. And I want to give it to you, Amina, because you deserve this. You deserve this. You know, we got strong love for each other, but anyway, the March, 1995, turned me around, turned my life around, which has brought me back to Newark. Because I was working in South Jersey after we graduated college, and I was trying to make money to send back to Newark, to apartment 3B in the projects. Because there was no job I could get in, so I said, let me just get this job, because it's paying right now, and I'm sending the money up to Newark right now. But anyway, if you want to go further with this, like you mentioned earlier, October of next year, Larry, I just contacted Deborah Smith Gregory, who was my NAACP president, and we will be more than happy to be part of this actual. So again, I want to thank you for bringing it to our attention. Pastor, you're going to sing me song, all right?
I'm the last. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Hotep everyone else.
Hotep.
And peace and blessings to everyone. I'll try not to get emotional. What I'm so pleased about is to see everyone up front, and they bear witness to all the truths that I know. I can tell you for a fact, my homie, Frederica Bay, told me that she will always give credit to Brother Larry Ham, who taught her to be an organizer. She's always said that. I want to thank you to my homie. She's not here.
Take your time.
Like Bashir said, we go back so far. We go back to running with Raz to make him council mayor. We go back to, it's funny. I think my first date with Bashir was the Jacob Javits Center for the Million Man March. Right, we go back to that, we go back to, like you said, when we were about to get married, and they stole our money, and we went to the mansion, and they said, of course, you come here. We go back to the reason I took my Shahada. Because Omi said to me, when I first came up to Juma, she said, sis, here's a cover for your head. And she greeted me so kindly. That's why I took my Shahada, Sister Frederica Bay. And from that, give her a round of applause. You can't imagine the struggles that she's gone through. I can tell you from breastfeeding at Wisdom for the Holistic Child Care Center. All three of our sons went there. They weren't students, they were scholars. They could read, they could speak, they could write. We used to have the board, the state board would come in to visit, and we told them, act like you can't read. They told us that our children should only be able to count to the number of 10. We had scientists, they had to learn about different sciences, they had to read, they had to write. Minister Farrakhan came, and someone read when the student said we have a reader. Well, the whole school, we had readers. So we go back so far. I want to thank, again, all of the women in the women in support of the Million Man March. Stand up. Stand up. Those are my sisters. I'm telling you, I was so inspired by all the power that was sit in those meetings and organize, and never not include brothers. You need to give them a round of applause. They never did say, oh, black men don't do this. They always organized and made sure we were balanced. So when Raz talks about self-determination, that's a wonderful example, because of that, we had the school, like Amina said, we had multiple properties, we had families, all of our children, any child who graduated from Wisdom, I guarantee they have degrees like my sons, all of them. And I remember Amina, when our first one was born, she was like, I was out, Taj, I got a surprise. She bought him a rocking horse. Remember that? And it was just because we're family, and I thought about you. So yes, when the sister runs for Central Ward, I'll be there like she's always been there. Brother Larry Ham, I was over looking at my phone, and all the times that you show up, and all the times that you motivate us. How young are you now? 71. Give them a round of applause. Let me tell you this. We had a march for Amadou Diallo. How many miles was that? 13 miles. This brother had on a suit tie, hard bottom shoes, and he never stopped. We had people with their feet bleeding. They had to stop. He made it all the way down. We had a saying. When he said, Amadou, we got so tired. We said, Amadou Larry Hand. I'm sorry. We did. So I want to say that. I want to also give one of the best men at my wedding, Ed Riley, a big round of applause. Because yes, the said, Bashir, you need to go. He wasn't Bashir then, was he? He was Brother Carlos X. And I said, if you're going to go, I'm going to support you, I'm going to be here. And the lives I thought we're still here. So I just want to say again, thank you to the Honorable Minister Farrakhan. We would have none of this. We would have no wisdom, we would have no Million Woman March, no Million Youth March, those other people talking about Women March. We would have nothing like that because he inspired us and he continues to inspire us. So with all that I say, thank you, Ashe, Ashe, Ashe.
Brothers and sisters, we are ready to conclude our program, but before we conclude, we must hear from Minister Abdul Haq. Minister Haq, we must hear from him. Please, brother.
Thank you, Brother Barrow. I just want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. You know, on behalf of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, Ahmed Mosque, Islam number 25, we truly appreciate your support and your sacrifice, your dedication. We know that, you know, many of us went to work. We had long days, but we thank you for your patience and your attendance, and we don't take it for granted. And the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, when all the accolades were being given and everyone was cheering him, you know, screaming his name, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said, "To God be the glory." To God be the glory, because without God, none of this would have taken place. So we thank God first and foremost for giving the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan an inspiration to be able to call 1 million men and 2 billion show up. And we thank you all for responding to this call, because to organize in America for us is not easy. It's a very dangerous and very arduous task. Historically, brothers and sisters, this is a country that never allowed us to organize. They fashioned laws, they called it unlawful gathering. And some of our first churches were not actual buildings, they were hush houses, where we had to go in the back of the woods and we had to worship because they did not want us to come together. One of the tenets of the FBI is that we as a people must never organize. So for you all to put your life on the line, that I can be here today and sit, I'm truly, truly thankful and appreciative of you all of our elders, and all of the work that you've done, and the sacrifice that you've done. I appreciate you. I thank you, Brother Ed, for believing in me and always guiding me and encouraging me. And I thank your wife, Sister Kim, who's here, who's always supporting me. Thank you, Brother Larry, man. Thank you, Sister Amin, Baba, Zaid. We really appreciate you, brother. Always in the front line, always fighting. I just thank you all for being with us tonight. We don't take your attendance for granted. We thank you, Reverend Slaughter, for always being a true Christian brother to us. And whatever it is that we ask, you always open up your doors. So we thank you for showing that Christ-like love and dedication and consistency and always showing up. I want to thank all of the believers of Muhammad Mosque number 25 for coming and supporting. There's much to say and much has been said, and I thank you for what you have said. Brothers and sisters, please, maybe travel safely. If you were sick, you were struggling with any ailments, I pray that Almighty God allow whatever name you call him, he would heal you. He would heal your family members. If you got any children that are struggling with autism or any ailments, we pray that Almighty God would cover your family. Let us pray for one another, because truly we all that we have. And if you need to atone, go home and atone with your family members. Go home and atone and reconcile differences that may have appeared to be irreconcilable. But before you go home and atone with someone else, first atone with yourself, brothers and sisters. Because all of us have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. And this is what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has shown us, that although none of us are perfect, that God's grace and mercy is still present. And as long as that we are alive, we have a chance to make that which has been wrong right. So So brothers and sisters, I thank you all, and thank you for listening, and thank you for your attention. May God bless us. All of the brothers, please let us make sure that our women get to their car safely. Okay, and let us all please travel home safely. Make sure our elders get what they need to get to, okay? And our children. Thank you, Assalamu alaikum.
Everybody, please rise, give Minister Hawk a big hand. Brother Ed Riley, give Minister Hawk a big hand. As we get ready to depart, Brother Ed Riley is going to read the pledge that we took in 1995. And we're going to go through it together with him. You got a mic?
I got one now.
All right.
All right, brothers and sisters, as they say in the church, of all hearts and minds are clear. I just want to say long live the spirit of the Million Man March. Long live the spirit of the Million Man March. And I want to say it was the spirit of the Million Man March that brought all of y'all out here tonight. It was that spirit. So the pledge is, you can say it after me. It says, I pledge that from this day forward, I will strive to love my brothers.
I will strive to love my brothers.
And I'll add sister in there too.
Sisters too.
As I love myself.
As I love myself.
I, from this day forward,
will
strive to improve myself. Spiritually, morally, mentally, socially, politically, and economically. For the benefit of myself, my family, and my people. I pledge that I will strive to build businesses, build houses, build hospitals, build factories, and enter into international trade, for the good of myself, my family, and my people. I pledge that from this day forward, I will never raise my hand with a knife or a gun to beat, cut, shoot any member of my family or any human being except in self-defense. I pledge from this day forward, I will never abuse my wife by striking her, disrespecting her, for she is the mother of my children and the producer of my future. I pledge from this day forward, I will never engage in the abuse of children, little boys or little girls, for sexual gratification, for I will let them grow in peace to be strong men and women for the future of our people. I will never again use the B word to describe any female, but particularly our black sisters. I pledge this day forward, that I will not poison my body with any drugs or that which is destructive to my health and my well-being. I pledge from this day forward, I will support black newspapers. The final call. Black radio, black television. I will support black artists who clean up their act to show respect for their people
Show respect for their people.
And respect for the heirs and the human family. I will do all this to help. I will do all this, so help me God.
I will do all this, so help me God.
Long live the Million Man March. And we want to thank again Brother Pastor Slaughter. And by the way, I want to designate St. James A.M.E. Church as the new community black church for our people.
My brother Larry. Hey.
Pastor Slaughter, can you close, please, Pastor Slaughter? Did he leave? Pastor Slaughter, can you close us out in prayer? Oh, who? Minister Hart, can you close us out in prayer? He did it, we close. It's been done.